Einen wunderschönen guten Abend, ihr Lieben. Ihr hört Radio No Rest. Mit mir dabei ist heute die Liz.
Hallo, guten Abend.
And of course, our special guests from Frozen Factory right now. There is Stephen and Tommy is also already here. So welcome, guys. This is your show, so we will present of Pearls Perils with you today to our audience and talk a bit about the album. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here again with you.
Indeed so.
Okay, great.
So
I think we start with a song, or we want.
I think we should start first with a song. Let's hear the intro of the album of Pearls Perils is Murder in the Depth. And this song we're going to listen to, also das Intro von Pearls Perils ist Murder in the Depth. Und wir wollen auch deswegen das heute als unser Intro nehmen und dann mit den Jungs sprechen. So, here for you, Murder in the Depth. Und wir sind zurück und jetzt habe ich genug gesprochen. Jetzt lassen wir die Jungs reden. So, I talked enough. Let's start this interview, guys. And I want to start with a common introduction, but not. And we know you as a band. We had you several times, or 2 times right now in the show this time, but what I want to know and how you can introduce yourself is how did all of you come to play the instrument you play in the band right now, and for those who are not there, maybe you know a background story. So, how did you come together? I will translate the question and then it's your turn. Meine erste Frage ist, ich möchte nicht ganz anfangen wie immer mit den Fragen, mit der Vorstellung, sondern ich möchte etwas anders ansetzen und ich möchte wissen, wie kamen Sie dazu, das Instrument zu spielen oder den Part zu spielen, den Sie jetzt in der Band haben. Alright.
Tommy, would you like to start?
Yes. Should we, if we talk also on behalf of others, maybe we can partly go from there. At least what I know from Mickey, I have known Mickey a long time, since the school times, and I think he just started with the guitar at the age of maybe, I don't know, around 10 years or something, and I think he's been always influenced by the like guitar bands like heavy metal and lots of other influences, not only heavy, but like what comes to guitar, like classical guitar and also more like heavy kind of style, so like all kind of varieties of guitar style. And he's been really actively, still nowadays, as far as I know, he's playing like every day quite a lot the guitar all the time. So he keeps up the skills that he wants to keep up, and somehow, like when it came to the point that we, quite early days of Frozen Factory, we needed a guitar player for the band. It was so that it was kind of too obvious. He was kind of too close that I couldn't kind of imagine that it could be Mickey. But then one of my friend was just like mentioning when I was talking with him that, hey, how about Mickey? And then I was like, oh, yeah, actually, he's the choice. And it was kind of funny moment in a way that I've known him since like, I don't know, like 35 years or something. And still, I couldn't imagine him somehow until one of my friends was like mentioning that maybe we should have Mickey for Frozen Factory. And then I asked him and said a few demos that we have done, and that the rest of is kind of history. So that was kind of the story in short with Mickey. And I think you know Johnny a bit better, Stephen, with your background, isn't it so?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how he came to be a guitar player, but I can tell you a little about my background with him. So we have known each other about 10 years, and another band that I have played with his band at a couple of gigs. So I got to know him through that, and since then we have been playing together in an Iron Maiden tribute band, where we play some of the more rare songs from Iron Maiden that they don't play live much. So me and Johnny have been on stage together playing Iron Maiden songs. But the rest of his background, I'm sorry, I don't know. But I know something about Marianne, our drummer, so I can tell you a little about her. She's been playing since she was really young, or she started in music when she was really young, and she has a lot of musicians in her family. Apparently her dad played the accordion, and she was interested in that at first. But then in the 3rd grade, she fell in love with drums, and she said that that's her music teacher's fault. Her music teacher gave her this idea to play the drums, and that's how she ended up doing that. And we found her after seeing one of her videos where she was playing a Muse song, and we thought she was so good that we wanted her to be in Frozen Factory.
Yeah, I remember the moment when you sent me a message that, hey, look at her, and wouldn't she be a cool drummer? And I was like, whoa, this is so cool. And it would be like too good to be true to have her. And well, maybe it took like a few days. We already had a meeting with Marianne, and it kind of started from there.
Yeah. We knew immediately that she would be a great fit for the band.
Indeed, she is.
Yeah, and from my own side, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. When I was a kid, actually, music didn't go very well for me. My sister was great at music. She was a very professional instrumentalist. And I tried to be as well, but it didn't go to plan. And one of my teachers at school gave me some very negative feedback and told me that I'm not good enough. So then I kind of gave up with music for a while. But later on, I started to listen to some great bands, and then I started to dream again that I could be a musician, and I started to play guitar when I was a teenager. And soon after that, I tried singing, and I realized that was a bit more natural for me. So then I concentrated on singing, and actually I started to sing everywhere that I could, especially in the car. When I was driving, I sang all the time. So I practiced for hours and hours alone. But that's the way to get better. So,
hey, dude, you never sing when I'm driving.
You have enough of that, I think.
Yeah, I know. and I think we are a bit more supportive than your teacher, like giving feedback. I hope.
So far you've been much more supportive than my teacher.
Okay, that's cool. Okay.
So if my teacher's listening, hey, you were wrong, dude.
Take that.
Credence.
Yeah.
Credence.
Yeah, I think that's all of us then.
Well, not my background.
Oh, you haven't done yourself? Pardon me.
No problem. I can do it really briefly. Actually, my main instruments are piano or keyboard and guitar. And the reason why I play bass in Frozen Factory is just because it's so fun. And I kind of decided if I was putting the band up in 2018, I thought, well, if I'm putting the band up, I can decide what instrument I'd play. And I thought that, well, this time I want to play bass because it's just so fun. And but my kind of I started with piano when I was maybe 7 years old, and maybe 3 years later or 2 years later I started with guitar, and I've been mainly playing guitar in the bands like when I've been in different kind of setups, and but somehow the piano or the keyboard overall has been always there in a way that I enjoy playing piano a lot. And I think you can partly hear it from some songs, like for example, the Solar Wind Falls is like starting with the piano theme, so that's like really audible there. But the bass is fun, and I think actually, especially lately, I have noticed that I have been learning a lot in these 3 and 4 years with the Frozen Factory, when I have been really concentrating more into bass. That now when I have been just recently doing some new demos, and I've kind of noticed that the skills that I have with bass playing has been going quite a lot higher than they were in the beginning of Frozen Factory. But I mean, still, I'm not like maybe professional bass player, but I guess it's enough for the purpose. And but the reason why I play bass is just like in this band is just like that I just enjoy it so much, and you can concentrate so much to just having fun like with this stuff. So that's the way in short.
Great. Okay, I will sum all of that up and translate it to our listeners.
Alright.
So, wir haben viel geredet, wir haben viel Input bekommen. Ich übersetze das für euch nochmal oder fasse es ein bisschen zusammen. Also, der Mickey, der Gitarrist, war immer schon ein ein Gitarrenfan gewesen, ein Metal-Fan. Der hat sehr früh mit Gitarre angefangen. Der Tommy kennt ihn schon seit der Schulzeit. Und als sie Frozen Factory aufgezogen haben, ist es ihm eigentlich erst gar nicht eingefallen, dass er Mickey dazu holen könnte. Aber ja, jemand hat dann gesagt, was ist mit ihm eigentlich? Und dann, klar, der ist es. Und dann war er dabei. Bei John war das so, dass Stephen ihn schon 9 bis 10 Jahre gekannt hat und mit ihm vorher in einer Iron Maiden Coverband gespielt hat, wo sie die etwas unbekannteren Sachen von Iron Maiden gespielt haben. Die Drummerin Marianne hat sehr früh angefangen mit Instrument oder mit dem Drumming. Sie kommt aus einer Musikerfamilie, der Vater hat Akkordeon gespielt und sie wollte auch erst Akkordeon lernen, das war aber nicht so ganz ihrs. Und in der 3. Klasse so ungefähr war das, da hat ihr Musiklehrer ihr die Möglichkeit gegeben, mal Drums zu spielen und das war's dann auch. Und zur Band kam sie, nachdem die Jungs ein Video von ihr gesehen hatten, wo sie zum Muse Drums gespielt hat und wollten sie gern dabei haben. Der Kontakt war schnell hergestellt, ein paar Tage später haben sie sich auch schon getroffen und ja, der Rest ist Geschichte. Der Stephen hat als Kind erstmal so nicht so die ganz gute Erfahrung mit Musik gemacht. Seine Schwester war sehr gut in Musik, war eine sehr gute Instrumentalistin. Er selber jetzt nicht so ganz. Also der Lehrer hat ihm dann auch gesagt, er ist einfach nicht gut genug für Musik und hat ihm erstmal ein bisschen versaut. Später kam dann der Traum, mit Musik hören, selber Musik zu machen, auch wieder zurück. Und er hat sich dran gemacht, Gitarre zu spielen und zu singen. Und das Singen war das Eigentliche, das ihm wirklich was gegeben hat, wo er gut war drin. Er hat das im Autofahren geübt und Tommy hat sich beschwert, dass er nie singt, wenn er Auto fährt, aber wenn Stephen selber Auto fährt, dann singt er schon. Und ist so eben zum Gesang gekommen und wenn sein Lehrer heute zuhört, nimm das, er kann's doch. Und zu guter Letzt der Tommy. Eigentlich hat er mit Piano angefangen, Gitarre kam dann dazu, also das Klavier mit 7 Jahren angefangen, mit 10 Jahren hat er Gitarre noch zusätzlich gelernt und jetzt bei Frozen Factory spielt er den Bass, weil er einfach Bass spielen wollte und sich gedacht hat, wenn ich eine Band aufziehe, möchte ich entscheiden, welches Instrument ich spiele. Ich möchte Bass spielen, da kann man viel Spaß haben und er hat während der 4 Jahre, die es die Band gibt und er jetzt Bass spielt, auch sehr viel dazugelernt. Alright, let's go to the next question. And this is more general overview. Since 2018, the journey of Frozen Factory started and it's a story of pure creativity, good ideas and a great production. Has the way you guys write music, you create music, changed since the beginning?
Well,
Tommy, you take the beginning of the story.
Yeah. It has indeed changed a lot because the really early days of Frozen Factory was we just happened to have a weekend in a studio reserved, and originally that was supposed to be for another band, basically, where I was in. But then somehow that band started to fall apart, and with the drummer back then, Eetu, who was playing the first album with Frozen Factory, we I was asking Eetu that, hey, why don't we just use this weekend because it's reserved? I write a bit like a crunch kind of songs in the spirit of, actually we called, before the Frozen Factory name, we called the project Alice and Janes in Lahti. Lahti is a city in Finland, maybe 100 kilometers north from Helsinki. And that was where the studio was located. So we called it Alice and Janes in Lahti. And I wrote a few songs, 4 songs, and we went there and we just basically found one guy from Musicians Net from Finland who was singing on that 3-song single. And one of my friends was playing the guitar there. And I just wrote the songs. I thought that we just want to make something like a really crunchy and, a bit like a Alice in Chains kind of stuff. And we went there. And the outcome of this weekend was so cool that we thought with Eetu that, hey, we need to continue this, that this is not only this like a one weekend project. So, but the problem actually at that point was that the singer didn't want to continue. He kind of thought that, okay, this is just like a one-off project. And then the guitarist actually was kind of on the edge that should I or should I not? And then he was saying that maybe he cannot continue anymore. So at that point in the band, there was only Eetu and myself, early 2019. And then I got back to this musicians net. It's this like a website for musicians, and I put their announcement that, hey, Frozen Factory is looking for a singer, and we had a few of our videos ready at that point that we had done for the first session, and then luckily Stephen was one of the first ones to reply to that message that we had, or this thing that we had in this website. And then I went to Stephen's home to have a cup of tea, and when I left his home, I was kind of half shaking that this is good, like too good to be true, that I have kind of found my missing brother or something. And maybe Stephen, you can take it from here, but that kind of was a really like a changing point of how we started to do things at Frozen Factory.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think before that point, you had taken care of all of the writing, and from that day on, we became a writing team partnership. And up to now, it has continued that way, that Tomi and I are the writing team for Frozen Factory. And I think that things haven't changed that much then since that day about how we make the songs, because most of the time it works in that way that one of us creates a demo. Tomi's demos sound a lot nicer than mine, you should know. So either I get a really amazing demo from Tomi, or he gets a really crappy demo from me. But either way, it seems to work. So that gives some kind of idea about what the song could be, some kind of seed to grow the song from. And then we both give ideas into the song. And I think the only thing that has, or something that has been very clear now, has been that I am writing the lyrics. I think all of the lyrics since the end of Planted Feet. Planted Feet has some lyrics from Tomi that were adapted by me. So
yeah, I think the reason is that some of the songs were kind of existing before before we kind of found you. So there was some songs existing, and then you were just like modifying them like for decent.
Yeah. So that was an interesting record for that reason, because some of it was ready, or some of the lyrical ideas were ready before I even arrived into the band. But since then, it's just that we grow ideas together, and usually when there's some music ready, then I'll start to write lyrics for that and vocal melodies. But I think we're open to all kinds of different ideas, and actually just a couple of days ago, Tomi called me and suggested a new way to start on the next album. So we're not stuck in a certain way. I think we're open to many different things, and the other thing that we're open to is that other members of the band would also write something. So far it has gone that just me and Tomi write, but we're open to having ideas from the other members too.
And I think it's actually really exciting, exactly like just a few days ago when I proposed this new idea of doing things. I think it's intriguing, and I'm really actually looking forward to it, like how it would work a new way that we probably gonna try.
Yeah,
and this new way is like the others bring in ideas, or is this something you don't want to talk about right now because it has not been tested?
Well, in short, I think it's kind of I have kind of mentally put myself in the phase now that I'm kind of starting to think the third full album now. And I would kind of typically it has been so that when I come up with ideas, I just put them to Dropbox, so then Stephen can go and listen whenever he wants. But this time I thought that it would be kind of intriguing if I would just in peace over some maybe few months I would prepare a bunch of songs, and then we would go somewhere I was thinking we can hire a place or something from Tallinn or somewhere, to have a short trip somewhere and just concentrate planning the next album, and then listen out the demos, and to have just one session to just talk about it and listen what is on the table, and then maybe come back with a sad face or happy face, what is the outcome. But I think it would be somehow really interesting to do it kind of so that we really kind of plan the whole thing within the 1 weekend or something. But that's just an idea at the moment, and let's see if it happens. But I think it would be intriguing to try it.
Perfect. Let me translate that. Am Anfang war das eigentlich so, es gab kein Studio wirklich, es gab keine Studiozeit, besser gesagt. Es gab eine andere Band, die hatte am Wochenende ein Studio. In den Zwischenzeiten so ein bisschen haben sie sich reingemogelt. Die andere Band hat sich aber dann relativ bald aufgelöst und dann sind sie dort in das Studio gegangen. Sie haben unter dem Projektnamen Alice in Change in Lachte angefangen mit Frozen Factory, also sie haben eher so einen crunchigen Sound gemacht, hatten dann einen Sänger über eine Plattform kennengelernt und der hat für sie mit ihnen 3 Songs aufgenommen. Die waren eigentlich richtig gut und da haben sie sich gedacht, also müssen wir weitermachen. Der wollte aber nicht weitermachen und es gibt eine Seite musician.net und da haben sie geschrieben, dass sie Musiker suchen, und relativ schnell hat Stephen geantwortet und sie haben sich zum Tee getroffen, und als er das Haus wieder verlassen hat, der Tommy, hat er gesagt, er hatte tatsächlich so dieses Gefühl, das ist zu gut, um wahr zu sein, das kann nicht sein, aber es war wirklich so, er war begeistert. Die haben sich getroffen und gefunden. Bis dahin hat alles Tommy gemacht, und seit dem Tag sind sie eigentlich ein Schreiberteam und machen die Songs zusammen. Und wir haben auch einen Ausblick auf die Zukunft, wie sie da schreiben werden, bekommen von den zwei. Und zwar wurden die Songs über Dropbox bis jetzt geschickt, die Demos, die Ideen. Das wird nicht mehr so sein, oder die Idee ist, das nicht mehr so zu machen, sondern ein paar Ideen zu sammeln und dann sich zu treffen für eine Woche oder sowas, einzusperren und an diesen Sachen zu arbeiten. Also zusammen, was nochmal ein ganz anderes Schreiben sein wird. Bin gespannt drauf. Alright, I think we should listen to some more music you made, and the next song that I chose because we had the history, and it is obvious that the album Planted Feet, you mentioned it several times during the interview until now, is the first step, or one of these steps, and I chose Life Found a Way, and now we are gonna listen to that song.
Little choice like most before, she but fallen. a dream, washing through it splits its beam. All the colors, the minds, are they awake, basking in their heavenly dread. Daybreak here unfolds. This story has never been told. We glance skyward, look back to our home, back from where we roam. As we turn towards the warmth, we stare at our new sun. Whoa, life found a way. Oh, hey, love found a way. Oh, every man awaits his tale, carried on a stirring gale, forgiving land, forgiven souls, onward laughing rose. Given the chance of a new destiny, forging a life by strange new seas. The feeling here brings calm to the heart, embark on a new start. As we turn towards the warmth, a new day has begun. Oh, life found a way. Oh, hey, love found a way. Oh, hey, life found a way.
even to the stars for a gulp of freedom's breath.
Und da sind wir wieder. Ja, ein bisschen zeitlichen Kontext. Sie haben es ja öfters schon erwähnt. Das Planted Feet Album Live Found a Way ist da drauf zu finden. Das ist quasi Zusammenfassung von dem Album. Alright, let's continue with the next question, which is a pretty quick question, I guess. And that's what influences Frozen Factory. And I want to say in advance, I read some interviews or some critics or reviews, and never ever have I come across the band Sabotage. And many times when I listen to your music, your songs remind me on like the Wake of Magellan album of Sabotage. I just wanted to add that. But what are your real influences?
There's a lot, I think, but let's start with Tomi, because the musical side, he is the one with the biggest vision, I think, when it comes to the music and how it's presented. So, Tomi, maybe you want to start.
Well, I wouldn't take the full credit of that. I'd say that it's maybe 50-50 between us, like the musical influence or the how we want to present the stuff. But anyhow, since I was like a small kid, like 1 meter tall or even less, I have been actually listening Depeche Mode. So it's been kind of a soundtrack of my life in many ways. Like there's been this saying, and I remember listening to their like first and second album when I was like the kind of first memories that I have even. So it's been going with me my whole life basically, and now just like a week or two ago they were announcing a new album and a new tour, and actually I was like successful enough that I could get Stephen to join me for the Helsinki concert that they are having next August. So one would definitely be Depeche Mode. I don't know how much that is somehow audible in Frozen Factory music, but definitely it's somewhere there in my DNA. Then another big thing which is maybe partly audible in our music is Pink Floyd, and that came to me a bit later when I was maybe 18 or something. So I was actually quite, in a way, old when I found them, in that sense that they had been there since 16 or 70s already. But I found them with their kind of latest studio album, this Division Bell, which came out '94. Then, like I mentioned already earlier, the Alice in Chains has been from the... Well, I have been listening Metallica and all this, like a basic stuff, but from this a bit more rock and crunch side, there has been maybe the biggest influence from me has been Alice in Chains. And I think that is also in certain songs, it's quite audible in our music. So, but I somehow believe that no matter what you kind of what the feeling is that you're doing certain kind of style, but it always has your own touch in a way that, so even if we kind of go into certain kind of style or direction, I think it anyhow sounds personal, because we don't want to copy anyone directly, or we don't even cannot do it even if we would want to do it. So I somehow believe that no matter what you do with your certain vision, it's always going to sound somehow personal. And then of course, the more there are people to do these things, the more it's kind of a combination of, you know, many people kind of contributing with one song. And obviously Stephen has a strong point there, because he's the voice of Frozen Factory, and maybe you can continue from here, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me, music has become about the meaning, and I really love drama in music. that, of course, has taken me to Iron Maiden, which I mentioned earlier, that I like to perform their songs. I love the stories. But going back to my childhood a bit, my dad used to play a lot of prog music. So I listened to a lot of Genesis and bands like that. All kinds of stuff. One prog album that stands out is War of the Worlds by Jeff Wayne, which probably many of you know, which features a lot of other musicians. It's a very dramatic album. So those kind of things, they formed my view of what music kind of should be or could be. So I've come to write these kind of meaningful songs that have a point to make or some kind of story. And nowadays with Frozen Factory, I concentrate a lot on politics and human behavior, and then the things that I'm thinking about, whatever it is. I think everyone has this kind of like an inner battle with thoughts, and one way to help with that inner battle is to get the ideas out onto paper, into a song, however you do it. But for me, it's writing lyrics, and a lot of those things in the songs, they're like a window into my head. So sorry about that.
All right. Okay, I will sum that bit up. There's not much to translate.
Yes.
Also, Einflüsse für unseren Tommy sind Depeche Mode, Pink Floyd, Alice in Chains. Das sind alles Sachen, die ihn geprägt haben. Metallica natürlich. Das gilt aber auch für Stephen. Iron Maiden, er hat schon gesagt, er hat eine Iron Maiden Coverband gespielt. Aber progressive Rockbands auch wie Genesis zum Beispiel, Jeff Wayne, War of the Worlds, das ist auch ein großer Einfluss. Es geht da um Geschichten, die erzählt werden, um Dramaturgie. Ja, und was ihn noch beeinflusst, ist halt das Verhalten von Menschen, die Politik, ein innerer Kampf. Das Ganze mündet dann in seine Texte, die einfach dann so raus müssen. Alright, so let's go into the new album of Pearls Perils. And I want to start with a song. It's called Solar Wind Falls. So what a solar wind is, most people know. It's like an eruption of the sun blown away in the void of the universe, of the solar system. And but what is a solar windfall? First question. And when we are talking about the solar system, and you are also referring in your lyrics to him himself, it's David Bowie's like Space Oddity, which is referred to, or how is this Mars song called? And like, you know what I mean. And yeah. Also the song itself builds up a bit like Bowie. He starts very, very calmly and just the guitar, and then slowly coming lyrics out of the singer, and it's a bit mirroring your song, or vice versa. Your song is a bit mirroring that. Is that intentional? And let's talk about all that.
Yeah, it's a really interesting song from that point of view, and a lot of the music was made already by Tomi when he demoed this, and actually the first time I ever heard it was in Tomi's car. He had sent it to me already, but I hadn't had time to listen to it, so we were coming back from rehearsal and he said to me that, "Have you heard it yet?" And I said no, so he played it in the car, and I immediately got the feeling that this is a song about kind of exploring looking for something new. And I started to imagine the Voyager probe, which is out in space, launched in the 70s, I believe. There's 2 of them, and they have been traveling. They've been traveling for a very, very long time, and at least one of them, maybe both, are now outside of the solar system.
Both both left the heliosphere. Voyager 2 earlier because it turned with Jupiter and went out, and Voyager 1 was visiting Jupiter and I guess Uranus, and then it went out with Pluto, and I think 5 years ago it left the heliosphere.
Yeah. Wow, I'm really amazed that you know so much. That's really nice to hear. One of them took a detour.
But they are still sending signals.
Yeah, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was already in the end of 70s, there was this first motion picture of Star Trek. And there was this Voyager, which kind of then turned out to be Voyager. That was already like maybe 79, that movie. So it's really, really old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where I know most of it from Star Trek.
And so going back to the story so I heard that, and I started to think about this theme, and in the end the theme of the song is just that humans tend to chase things that they don't have, that they don't understand. They tend to look for the next thing, the new shiny thing. They want the thing that's far away. They want the thing that they cannot have. And the song is about this theme. It's about moving away from your roots in search of something new, and then kind of realizing later on that maybe you could have actually spent more time like back where you came from and explored and got a lot of value from that. And maybe this path that you have gone on towards this new thing actually wasn't the right thing, but still you're going to keep going there anyway, because that's what we do. So it's kind of the story looks at a kind of typical, or let's say cliche story that we talk about, that we know more about space than we do about the deep oceans, even though
which is a shame.
Yeah, exactly. It is a shame. So this is kind of the mirrored point here, is that the thing that's close to us is uninteresting to us, not because it's not interesting, but simply because it's close. And we just long for the thing that's far away. We want the thing that's harder. We want the thing that's shiny and seems like it's a difficult challenge. I don't know. I think this is just a part of human nature, which is strange but beautiful at the same time.
It's a bit like how we didn't find Mickey. He was too close.
Yeah, we went. You wouldn't look at the close guy. You had to find the bright, shiny guy far away.
Exactly.
In the end, Mickey was the right guy. Yeah. So there's another slight twist to the story as well, that it's also kind of talking about the fact that we live our lives not exploring our close family, and we tend to later regret that. Like, it's kind of a cliche story as well, that later in life we think that, hey, I might have known more about my mum and dad's story, or my grandparents, or whatever, people who are close to us. We tend to kind of think more about people we idolize or something like that. Like, I read a biography about Bruce Dickinson, and I know all the details of his early life, but, you know, like people close to me, I don't necessarily know everything that they have gone through. And this is a typical human story, and that's also a shame. So it's kind of looking at this strange human nature that we have to try to grasp things that are far away instead of the close, important things.
Let me sum that up real quick and then we will talk a bit more. Also der Song ist so ein bisschen entstanden mit der Idee im Kopf. Stephen hatte im Kopf so diese Voyager-Sonden, die losgeschickt worden sind. Und der Song ist ähnlich wie ein Gedankengang dahingehend, wir wissen mehr über das Weltall, als wir über den Ozean wissen, über die Tiefsee zum Beispiel. Und darum geht's in der Quintessenz eigentlich auch. Menschen neigen dazu, etwas zu wollen, das sie nicht haben können oder schwer nur erreichen können. Und man geht Wege, das reflektiert sich jetzt auch im Text wieder, man geht Wege weit außerhalb, weit draußen, um Dinge zu holen oder Dinge bekommen zu können, eventuell, die eigentlich in unerreichbarer Ferne sind, ohne erstmal das kennenzulernen, was direkt nahe bei einem ist. Sie haben gesagt, so ein bisschen wie das mit Mickey, mit dem Gitarristen, der ja eigentlich immer schon da war, aber erst wurde ein Gitarrist gesucht, der in weiter Ferne draußen existieren könnte, bevor man das Offensichtlichste nimmt. Oder wenn man zum Beispiel dran denkt, wir wissen etwas über Stars, über die Biografien von Stars, was auch immer, zum Beispiel Bruce Dickinson. Wir kennen jedes Detail seines Lebens, aber kennen wir auch das Leben unserer Eltern zum Beispiel, wo man sich dann später sagt, hätte ich doch nur mehr über meine Eltern oder Großeltern oder was auch immer. Ihr kennt das, glaube ich, alle, so diese Frage im Kopf. Wüsste ich dann nur mehr, hätte ich mir nachgefragt. Alright, so I want to come back a bit to the Bowie idea you built in.
Yeah.
What's up with that? What's the reason?
When I first heard this music, the other thing that occurred to me was that it somehow felt like a David Bowie soundscape. It gave me that feeling immediately that this is something that perhaps David Bowie might have enjoyed writing something to or singing to. At the same time, I got the feeling that it could also be Roger Waters, and I experimented with two very, maybe quite strange sounding voices that were something like, first part was something like Roger Waters or my version of Roger Waters, and then it went into a kind of David Bowie voice, and that voice is only in the demo. So in the final version I haven't really used those. You might hear some small parts that sound a little bit like my impression of Bowie in the backing, if you have a very, very good ear. But because of that, I chose to put in a few references to David Bowie's songs. So there is a reference to Life on Mars and also to Changes. So you might find some interesting references in the lyrics to those. And actually, the other song that you mentioned, Space Oddity, there is also some small hints to that as well.
Talking about details, because that is a detail and you have more details. We heard a first song, Murder in the Depth, and there is a voice of a woman or a fan of yours, Angela Carolay. Is that true? Only a fool would never change their mind?
Yeah, that's what the first part in French, that's what it means.
This details, and I read about that this comes more than one time. You had a French accent in your music. added by her, I guess.
Yeah, and it started with the last record, the first Liquidation EP, which we released in 2021. There is a song on there in which I have mixed French and English, and I did that because French has some very interesting phrases which mean really meaningful. They have very important meanings, and they are said in such a nice way, and you cannot really translate them well to English. They don't seem to sound so good. And also I enjoy the fact that they are well-known phrases in France, some of these that we have used, and but they're probably new to many English speakers. So it has been interesting for me to find these and to use them in the songs. I don't know if it will continue after this record, maybe not. We actually had a discussion about the possibility of using some German in a future record.
Yeah, we need to use some Dutch.
Yeah, so that could be coming. But the French is just there because it says the thing that I want to say, and it says it so well. So why change it to another language? I think that was the point.
True. So talking about details and all that, let me translate that real quick, and then I think we should listen to Solar Windfalls, not after clearing what is a solar windfall, but let me translate first. Also die Referenz zu David Bowie ist, er hat ein bisschen rumexperimentiert mit dem Gesang und ja, er ist bei Bowie hängen geblieben, hat sich gedacht, warum nicht ein bisschen paar Referenzen, ein bisschen paar Anspielungen an David Bowie auch mit einbauen. Finde ich eine sehr schöne Sache, ein sehr schönes Detail. Und wenn man schon über Details spricht, im ersten Song, den wir gehört haben, Murder in the Depth, da gibt's eine Frauenstimme auf Französisch, die sagt, nur ein Narr wird seine Meinung niemals ändern. Und wir haben darüber gesprochen, dass das Französische einfach Ausdrücke hat oder Sprüche hat, die man nicht wirklich gut übersetzen kann, die im Französischen wundervoll klingen und nicht wirklich gut übersetzbar sind. Und das wollten sie einfach festhalten und sowas mit drin haben. Wurde aufgenommen von einem Hardcore-Fan quasi von Pearls Factory. Die hat das eingesprochen. So. Und jetzt klären wir noch, was ein solarer Windfall oder Wasserfall ist. Alright, what is a solar windfall?
Okay, so of course it refers to solar wind, which you picked up on, and windfall is when you receive, or generally when you receive a lot of money or something very valuable. So I just combined the two together, solar windfalls. So these are the things we're chasing that are far away, in this case out in space. So those are the solar windfalls, the distant treasures that we're trying to get to desperately.
And I think desperately we need to hear that song right now. So here it's for you, Frozen Factory's Solar Windfall.
closer than ever to an answer for Bowie. Yeah, I turn to face the strange. But what can life on Mars teach me about the richer man's change? I'm disenchanted with leftovers received, small gains from buying inglorious days. I still head for a new debt I may already have paid. What have I become? Pursuing shiny desires, once a flight above, keep me majorly wired. Is there even a place at the end of my trail, or will I endlessly trace a line that's destined to fail? The pale blue-eyed fate, she is to me ever darker, ever farther she waits, and the chasm grows darker. Oh, I do look back, you should know that I wonder, but I've traveled too far since you gave me my heart. Start. I feel I still need a start. As I plunge into the dark, the oceans you hold, they are unfathomably old. They have stories untold I will neglect to behold. Though they lay by my side, it were as if they could hide when I turned a blind eye with a mistaken pride. What I left there below me I can't point to anymore. I can sense in my expanse the directions you told. Once again I'm sailing, I could be with you. I don't know and I won't help you view the truth. Now I look for another, the truth's handsome brother, a fantastical farce to what it cries the mother. Waves from where I began compel me with a notion, but this voyager will chase no more pearls under the ocean.
So, da sind wir wieder mit diesem wirklich wundervollen Song Solar Wind Force. And we have to go to the next question. I prepared about 13 questions. And we are at question 5. So, the next song is, I want to talk about, it's a bit faster. It's The Depth of Hell, and this gets us into out of the rock or hard rock. It's more metal influenced. This is really a metal song, and it's so full of details, and I want to talk about these details because they create such a depth that you are drawn into this song. You are not only drawn, you are like teared into the song. You are immediately in. There are laughs, there are breaths, there are growls that add to the lyrics, to the music itself. There are so many details. I would say this song is built of details and the music is well built around it. Please tell us more about how did this song come to life? What were your thoughts, and how did you make this masterpiece?
Tommy, how did this song start? You started it off.
Yeah, well, I think, like what you just described, I think there's exactly the beauty of doing things together. And when I was writing the kind of the base of the song, I just had exactly this Alice in Chains kind of feeling that I want to, something that drives like a train in a way that it just moves on, and it has this really like a heavy and a crunchy feeling. But all these details and what you just mentioned, I think they are like a spice on top of the. If I made the food, Stephen brought the spices in a way that make it like a taste good. So then when I got all these details and spices from Stephen, I was just mixing it together, and it brought out how it sounds now. So I think that's exactly the beauty of doing something together, because if I would have done it that alone, first of all, the melody would be different, maybe it's something shit, and now it's really cool stuff that Stephen has done. And now it has the melody from Stephen and all these like details and everything, and then I just put them together in mixing phase. So it's a good example of beauty of doing things together.
It's like a recipe.
Teamwork.
Like a recipe.
Yeah, exactly.
I gave the ingredients and he gave me the spices, and I stirred it real quick, and then I boiled it for 15 minutes, and that's what came out.
pretty much like that, yes.
Yeah, it worked nicely. This song, when I heard music for it, this is how it usually goes. When I hear it, then my mind takes me to some kind of situation, some location, or a story starts to form. And for this one, it took me to hell. It immediately, I started to have a vision of the stereotypical hell, the fiery pits and the demons poking people and people screaming and all of this stuff, the biblical hell that we hear about. So, of course, from that point, I was determined to make everyone else feel that same vision. So I hope it kind of works when you listen to it, that it kind of takes you to this pit of hell, this location in your mind. And the theme of the lyrics is again political, and it talks about how for some reason we keep voting for terrible leaders who don't care about us, who are greedy and selfish, who do everything to help themselves and nothing to help the rest of us. And we give all the decision making to them. So everything is down to the depths of hell. And in that way, it's another twist on the meaning, because, of course, we often talk about going down to hell. But in this case, I meant it that the decisions are down to the depths of hell. They're down to them. So it's like, why the hell are we doing that? Why do we keep doing that? This is what the song is asking. And then
do we want to live in hell? Is this our purpose, or is this our intention?
Yeah. Like one of the lines says that we love a Lucifer to fork our lives, like to decide for us where we're going. Of course, I kind of thought that maybe someone would hear a slightly different word as well, like to fuck our lives. But anyway, it's fork our lives. But the song is literally about that. Like, what are we doing? Is this what we want? Like you said.
Alright, let me translate. Die Basis dieses nächsten Songs ist eigentlich so im Kopf musikalisch gesehen ein Zug, der immer weiterfährt. Und das ist ein tolles Beispiel, wie die zwei zusammenarbeiten, Stephen und Tomi. Wenn man sich das so vorstellt, sie haben es beschrieben, als würden sie ein Rezept machen. Die Zutaten sind vom einen, die Gewürze kommen vom anderen, das Ganze wird zusammengemischt und kräftig umgerührt, 15 Minuten bei mittlerer Hitze kochen gelassen. Und tatsächlich kam dann das raus, diese ganzen Details, diese Gewürze kamen dann von Stephen. Und Tomi hat das dann gemischt und zusammengerührt. Und dann kam musikalisch das raus. Vom lyrischen Thema ist in der Vorstellung die Hölle, wie man sie sich vorstellt, also mit Feuer und Flammen und Menschen, die gefoltert werden. Das Thema ist allerdings politisch und stellt die Frage auf, warum wir Menschen furchtbare Führungspersonen, Politiker wählen, die egoistisch sind, nur an sich denken. Wir denken einfach mal an Trump zum Beispiel oder an Boris Johnson. Wollen wir in einer Hölle leben? Ist das eigentlich unser Wille, den wir wollen? Die Frage wirft dieser Song auf. And I think let's jump right into the song and listen to it. Or is there anything else you want to add, you want to tell the listeners about this song?
Have a good trip to hell. That's what I want to say.
Bon voyage.
That's right.
And I turned a blind eye with a mistake.
Okay, da sind wir wieder. Ich hoffe, ihr seid wieder gut zurückgekommen von den Tiefen der Hölle. Alright, I hope our listeners return safely from this trip to hell. And I think we should welcome them with a song that is loud, maybe a bit lazy, but not too late. Loud, lazy, late. Let's talk about that song. It's a very bluesish styled hard rock song, which turns the chorus almost in a punk rock anthem, And we need to talk about this song for one reason, because it shows the ability of you guys to bring more than one genre into one song and merge it and force it to like you add some copper to metal and you get steel or bronze, or you make something out of two things and it becomes a new impact, like a new song, but it fits so well together. Let's talk about that. And you do that without losing your style. It's still Frozen Factory, and yeah, like I said, there's punk rock, there's blues, there's hard rock. Yeah, let's talk about that song. Loud, Lazy, Late.
Yeah.
I have never thought about it like that. It's, I mean, for me, it's been just like a song among others in a way. But now when you say it, it's actually a bit different style in a way. But I've never thought about it that it would be different.
Yeah, it is.
Or what do you say, Steve?
It
yeah,
is.
it's. I see what you mean. I have seen it as a bit of a departure in a way from our style, but I think it still belongs to Frozen Factory, and I think that's part of us anyways, that we take these journeys to different places and we're not afraid to do that. I don't know, is that the right way to put it? But that's our preference, maybe, is to explore different things. And if something is a slightly different style, it's not a problem. We'll look at it and we'll bring it into our world. And Loud, Lazy, Late, you know, that's a song that started with me on an acoustic guitar. And actually, in the beginning, I accidentally copied a Beatles song. What is the what was the song, Tommy? Do you remember the title of it?
No, actually no, because now when you mention it, I remember that there was something, but no, I wouldn't have remembered it otherwise.
It might be that Come Together.
Yeah, probably it was that.
Yeah. Somehow my original version of this song went a bit too close to the verse melody from that song, and I didn't realize it at first. Well, actually, I didn't realize it at all before the point that I sent it to Tommy. And when I sent it to him, he immediately said that is this a bit too close to Beatles? And then I heard it immediately. Oh wow, yeah, I went way too close to their melody. Yeah, and obviously that's a problem. You know, you can't just do the same as some other artists. So I reconsidered the verses for the song, went back to the drawing board, let's say, and I came up with something new. And anyway, it has a slight. I understand why you see the blues in this song. I think the groove is the thing that takes it in that direction. And we don't that often in Frozen Factory have this kind of groove, which Loud, Lazy, Late has. But then when Tommy took it, he changed the feeling of it again a bit. It's hard for me to describe what it was like when it was me with the acoustic guitar. You'd have to hear it. But Tommy adds his own flavor. And then this is a song where Marianne really changed things again. Because when the drums came to the song, and this was really her idea, especially these drums in the beginning of the song, which you hear at other times in the song, I guess through the choruses. She's playing something which is actually quite complex, apparently. I'm no drummer, so I don't know. But she still like a rehearses that, so it's not like that simple. So still like yeah, that is true. I heard a rumor that she may have forgotten what she did on the record. I don't know if that's true. I'm sorry, Marianne, if that's not true. But we've had another couple of drummers try to play that line since then, when we've been trying to have a backup drummer for gigs, and they're really confused by that. So she's doing something very special in that song, and that brings the power to the song. So you have this kind of contrast between these very light grooves and then these kind of power moments, and we have to give some credit there to Marianne for that, for sure.
Yeah, indeed.
All right.
I was just actually last week I was just talking in local radio in Helsinki about the styles that we have. That we have really like a heavy stuff, and then we have really like a kind of soft stuff as well. And I was a bit like wondering if it's actually good or not. But I think the feedback that I got from them was like, no, just keep it like you have it. Just do what you do. So I guess this song is also one example that it's not like not in certain format that for what Frozen Factory does, but it's just a bit different style, but it maybe sounds like a Frozen Factory still.
Alright, I translate that for short. Also, der Song ist entstanden tatsächlich als Gitarrenstück und es hat sich herausgestellt, ohne dass es beabsichtigt war, dass es ziemlich klingt wie ein Beatles-Song. Come Together, glauben sie, dass es war. Sie haben es angehört und dann, das können sie nicht machen. Sind zurück ans Reißbrett, haben es neu gemacht und ja, da kommt so ein bisschen dieser bluesige Drive. Aber der richtige Drive, den dieser Song ausmacht, das war eher Marianne, also die Schlagzeugerin, die da tatsächlich etwas sehr Komplexes spielt, bei dem viele Drummer, die versucht haben, als Backup zu spielen, doch Schwierigkeiten hatten. Und das gibt aber, es kommt immer wieder im Refrain, kommt diese Figur immer wieder, vielleicht hört ihr das gleich. Und die gibt so diesen Drive zu dem ganzen Song, die macht diesen Song eher aus, also muss man schon ziemliches Danke auch an Marianne geben. Alright, I would say we have half an hour left and we have more music to play. So I would say we play Loud, Lazy and Late, and after that immediately Never is a Theory, and then we will talk about Never is a Theory. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
So let's do this. Here's for you. Be ready to party. Loud, lazy, late.
With quid pro quo, you don't like my tone, but you're one sick puppy, and you won't get my bone. Can't you see you're no honeybee, you're no power source, you're no driving force, you've no pearls of wisdom, you're so empty. But your yellow belly wants to be kinder than you've been. You've no empathy, it's all me. You don't like my tone, but you've abso-fucking-lutely got to go. Loud, lazy, late, and low quality. 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 Loud, lazy, late, low quality. Never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never seen this days before. And I'm weak when laid before the stirring mess that plays inside the figures of my gifted eyes. And they walk from broken shores towards a hunger decision door with a shell of fright and arms weighed down like mirrored hands they cannot drown. End of the river, end of the river, I'm sure I can see signs. The end of the river, end of the river for me. Never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that light is crisp beyond the scene, but crisp and clear are far between. My thoughts are sound, but where is mind? And sound is fraught with merging lines. Will I cease to be tonight? As I can't believe my sight. A myth that trust in vision seems hard to swallow, lies or dreams. End of the river, end of the river, I'm trying to see what's at the end of the river. End of the river for me. Never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never is a theory, ever is the truth. Never ever can we prove in life that never is a theory, ever is the truth. other side of life, and knowing that the ones who follow are as safe as I am. The river feeds the sea, and free to be, I sail eternally. It seems that life itself was the mystery.
Okay, hier sind wir wieder und wir haben jetzt Never the Theory schon angehört. Wir möchten auch nicht so viel über die Musik sprechen, but what I want to talk about on this song is there is a philosophy hidden inside even the title. Never the Theory is never a theory. Being like a Buddhist monk would ask, if you say something, he would turn it into a question, but is there a theory? What's your philosophy about life, about the way you think about the world? What does Never the Theory reflect of this philosophy?
Okay, this is complex. Oh, I'm not sure it's so complex. The background to this song is that on the album of Pearls and Perils, there are a lot of references to the afterlife, and generally speaking, I don't personally believe that there's an afterlife. But at the same time, and I think that this is true for many people, I kind of hope that there is. I kind of hope that there's something after this, because it feels a bit sad, let's say, to think that it just ends one day and that's that, even though in my heart I kind of believe that that's true. I think that we probably just live and die, and that's our turn, that's our party, if you want to look at it like that. Like, you go to the party of life and then you leave someday and it's done. But because of this hope that I have, I needed to include something on the record that opposes my view and represents this hope that maybe there's an afterlife, maybe there's somewhere to go, maybe there's a safe place when we die. So Never is a Theory tells the story of a person who is dying and they're being carried down the river of life and they're coming to the end of the river. And at the end of the river, they go into the sea of the afterlife. And of course, on the record, there's also a lot of references to the ocean, seas, water. And the title, Never is a Theory, just refers to the thought that maybe there is no concept of never. Maybe everything is possible. Never doesn't exist because there is infinite possibilities. So in that sense, it's just suggesting that could never be a theory and ever is the truth. So that's the background. I don't think it's particularly nicely said. Like, it could be expressed in a better way, but that's the background to it.
All right. So you have two perspectives. You have the scientific perspective.
Yeah.
Or on philosophy behalf, you have the Socratian view. Socrates, when he is about to drink the poison, he says, why should I be afraid of death? It's mere a deep sleep without a dream, and when you wake up you are awake and refreshed. So why should I be afraid of that? This is one point, and the science says, all right, there is your brain stops working, there's nothing you can experience anymore. And then there is the other part, you have the philosophical part, I would say about religion more as a philosophy. In that case, you have Buddhism. When you go into the sea of the afterlife, you become one with all of the others. And you have, the Christian philosophy where you go to a place, to heaven, being still you individually. But you can combine this as well, since science says nothing is ever lost in the universe, because everything is energy. It's like first of Newton's law, you can't destroy energy. It's still preserved in one or the other way, never gets lost. So this is interesting when you try to combine those two, and they seem to contradict, but they don't. And even there is this multiverse theory of an infinite number of parallel universes. This is very interesting. I need to translate that real quick. Also der Gedanke hinter Never is a Theory ist die Beschäftigung mit dem Tod. Und Stephen sagt, für ihn ist eigentlich, er weiß es in seinem Kopf, dass du bist im Leben und wenn du stirbst, war's das, ist vorbei, es gibt nichts mehr. Aber es ist eher wie so eine Party. Du trittst ein, machst die Party leben, du verlässt die Party wieder und das ist vorbei, kommt nicht mehr zurück. Und der Hoffnung, dass es doch irgendwie was anderes gibt, und das spiegelt sich dann auch im Refrain wieder mit Never the Theory und Ever is the Answer, also nie ist eine Theorie und jemals oder immer ist die Antwort. Sehr interessanter Gedanke hinter diesem Song. Alright, is there anything else you want to add to that? Because else I would go to the next questions.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like interestingly said how you describe it, and I think it's a kind of topic that we could discuss a lot. So maybe it's better that we move on, unless if you have something.
Maybe we can do a philosophy show in the future if you are interested, where we could talk about these topics.
We're gonna have a separate show about Never is a Theory.
I think we could, because this topic can lead us way beyond this, all of that we talked about. There is room for so many thoughts and interesting discussions.
Yeah, indeed.
My next question is, I think, a funny question for you, because I want to ask you, is there a question that you always wanted to be asked, but no one ever did?
Yeah. The question I would like to be asked is, would you like a beer after your show at Rock am Ring? That's the question I'd like to be asked.
Alright, so my next question is, would you like to have a beer after your show at Rock am Ring?
I would, thank you very much.
Yes, some delicious German beer, please.
Why at Rock am Ring? It could be a show everywhere.
True. It could be the world stage. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the answer would be that yes, please, some good German beer, please.
Also, ihr habt's gehört.
You have to come to Germany.
Wenn ihr Frozen Factory jemals live seht, fragt sie doch bitte, was für ein Bier sie nach dem Auftritt trinken wollen, und dann trinken sie ein Bier mit euch. So I told our listeners just, whenever they see you, they have to ask you what beer you want to drink, and then you will have a drink with them.
That sounds great.
We'll do it with pleasure.
Please. Yeah.
Alright, is there a funny story that you experienced in your whole being a band live? Is there a funny story, an interesting story that you would like to share with us?
Well, actually, just a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if it's funny or sad, but I think it goes more, especially when the time goes by, I think it goes more into funny side. But we just had a show on the Rocks in Helsinki, and we had a really, really tight schedule with preparing the show and the sound check and these kind of things. And we had prepared like a video screen, the video for the whole show. It was about roughly 40 minutes that we were playing, and there was a 40 minutes video background, and we needed to synchronize the video in the beginning with the audio that we are playing, so that the video would be kind of following our music. So I did the video, this 40 minutes video, and I was preparing the beginning of the video so that there was first some audio that we can, like when you press the video on, the play on, and then you can hear that, okay, now it plays, so that there's just some audio coming that we know in our own monitors, in-ear monitors in our heads, that we know that now its video is running. And then there was the counting, like a 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that we could synchronize the audio with the video. And that was supposed to be only for us, so that we could, synchronize. But when the show started, we were like, what the fuck? All this stuff was coming from the PA for the audience. So that first there was some audio coming, just like some random stuff, like blah, 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 blah. And then there was me counting from the video track, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the audience could hear that. And we were like, oh shit, this is this was not supposed to be for the audience. It was just supposed to be for us, so that we could synchronize the audio with the video. And we were really kind of fucked up. Oh shit, this is not happening. But I think at least personally, I could get over it quite quickly. So I was just laughing, but oh, this is the show business. I mean, it was so quick, sound check and everything, that this. Yeah. Otherwise, everything worked quite nicely, but it was just especially afterwards, thinking it was kind of a funny moment. And when I've been talking with a few friends, they didn't even notice that it was a mistake. They were kind of thinking that it's a kind of a part of the show, but it was kind of at that point it felt like, oh shit, this is not happening.
It's a nightmare of everyone who has separated in-ear sound. If you would have played on a click.
Yeah, especially if it would be like a stadium or something, that would have been happening. It would be oh shit! But it was kind of funny, but at the same time, it was at that moment.
At that moment, it's scary as hell.
Oh shit! What's happening? Yeah.
Okay.
But luckily, after that, it did well.
Yeah.
I will translate that. Also, es gibt eine Geschichte, die ist für die Jungs vielleicht nicht so ganz witzig gewesen, wie für die Zuschauer oder für uns jetzt. Und sie haben ein Video, und dieses Video hat natürlich, also sie haben den für eine Show gemacht, und das Video hat einen eigenen Sound gehabt, um in ihr Monitor die Songs mit dem Video zu synchronisieren. Und das sagt 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, es zählt ein. Und das sollten eigentlich nur sie hören, aber der Mischer hat das nicht verstanden. Es war ein sehr kurzer Line-Check nur gewesen, und es kam über die Box, und das haben alle mitgehört, und es war erstmal ziemlich peinlich, aber jetzt können sie auch drüber lachen. Okay, I would say let's play another 2 songs of you guys, and the next song that I chose is I Caught the Sun from Planted Feet in 2020, and after that I will play When You've Grown from the Liquidation EP.
Alright,
let's do that.
despite your love. Revealed the writing on the wall, but answers will come before we're done. I refuse to die, I refuse to move from where I lie. For my own sake, I leave nothing behind. Yeah! I've chosen the bus seat you like, even though I am alone. I flash the old picture of you on the lock screen of my phone, and I feel I will miss you when you've grown. I feel I will miss you when you've grown. I feel I will miss you when you've grown. The child you are today, it's sad that we won't meet again. For most of your journeys, we have traveled side by side. Despite today's empty seat, you are sitting in my mind. And I feel I will miss you when you've grown. I feel I will miss you when you've grown. I feel I will miss you when you've grown. The child you are today, it's sad that we won't meet again. I never hold you back, never hope for that. I'll be proud to see the grown-up that you will be when you change so much. I'm always catching up. I hope the moment's lost, but they're soon in the past. I feel I will miss you when you've grown. I feel I will miss you when you've grown. I feel I will miss you when you've grown. The child you are today, sad that we won't meet again. I will miss you when you've grown. I feel I will miss you when you've grown. When you wake up for the new day, I'm here to know you once again.
Und da sind wir auch schon wieder. Nun kommen wir zu den letzten Fragen. Where can our listeners follow you and keep track of what you are up to, what you are doing, what you're planning to do? Where can they find you?
Well,
Yeah.
Instagram is a good place to follow us, I would say. And we also have our own Discord group, which has been a bit quiet recently, but we would love to have some more active members in there. And
Well, if you
I think
want,
you can also-
just put a link in our Discord chat. Put a link of
Yeah.
your Discord, an invitation link. I think maybe there are people in the chat right now who would love to join there.
yeah, we can do that. And I think if you find us on Facebook or anywhere, Twitter as well is somewhere that we post. And then we have personal accounts as well. And we're really happy to chat with people, either through the band accounts or through our personal accounts. It's at least I can speak for myself, and I think for Tomi as well, that we're really happy to send messages and talk about the songs or talk about anything. You know, we like to engage with people, and that's one of the reasons why we do this. Is, music connects people, and we're interested in other people. So reach out to us, please. Say hello any way that you want to. We're always happy to reply and get to know you.
Indeed. Genau.
Genau. So, and also on your, you have a website, frozenfactorymusic.com, and there you can find the lyrics. I think that's really a great thing.
Yeah. I think that's a good base also, that it has all the links for these different kind of accounts. The frozenfactory.com, frozenfactorymusic.com. So there's a links for Facebook, Instagram, all these channels. So that's a good page as well to follow up, and all the live events as well.
And
Yes,
also
definitely.
you have some merch on it.
Yeah, indeed.
And the new album, yes, you can buy it as CD. I see.
Yeah, you can order the CD through one of our, let's say, a partner in Finland, a store that we have distributed the CD through. So you can buy it through that store, and they will send it to Germany or to any other country if you live somewhere else. So it's a good place to buy the new album on CD, or then we have the first Liquidation EP on vinyl also for sale there.
Yeah, and also like if you're interested about like t-shirts or like bags or whatever we have in our like this kind of merchandise stuff, that's exactly available from our website frozenfactorymusic.com. So like Liz said, that's true.
Alright,
Ja.
Translation. Also, ihr könnt natürlich auf Instagram, ist eine ganz gute Möglichkeit, folgen. Es gibt einen Discord. Da haben wir den Link bei uns im Discord im Chat drin. Einfach draufklicken, dann kommt ihr schon rüber. Sie freuen sich immer sehr, wenn sie mit Fans und Leuten über ihre Musik sprechen können. Das machen wir unglaublich gern. Es gibt die Homepage natürlich, die ihr besuchen könnt. Die Links findet ihr auf Discord, überall auf Facebook, auf Instagram. Ihr könnt dort auch die Sachen kaufen, die CDs kaufen, Merch kaufen. Wenn ihr die CDs kauft, die Liquidation gibt's auf Vinyl auch noch. Und die auf Pearls Perils gibt's auch. Das machen sie über einen Laden in Finnland, mit dem sie zusammenarbeiten. Der schickt das auch ins Ausland, also quasi auch zu uns. Kann man bestellen. Das ist ein guter Platz, wo man das kaufen kann. Alright. When can we see you live in Germany?
Well, let's say as soon as possible. That's our kind of dream. We don't have the dates yet, but I'm not lying when I'm saying that I love the Germany, and I've been there. Like we were just talking when listening to songs, like we were talking back there that there's so many places that I'm personally traveling in Germany, and I would love to travel there with the band and get to play our music locally there in different places. So I think we could say that it's quite high on our agenda that we play outside Finland as well, and we are working on it. And if there's any places, any contacts or something that you know that might help, like making this happen, like if you know some places where like people who are arranging events, festivals, or having clubs or something like that, please let us know, because it's of course always a bit harder from Finland to arrange things, but we are definitely working with it, and we will make it happen at some point soon. So that's definitely on our high on our agenda.
Yeah, same from me. We really want to come, so we're working on it.
Also wenn ihr sie in Deutschland sehen wollt, live, lasst die Jungs wissen, wo sie spielen können. Wir möchten unbedingt in Deutschland spielen. Also wir haben uns gerade vorhin auch schon unterhalten, dass Tomi öfters in Deutschland ist und Urlaub macht. Er liebt Deutschland. Wir haben gerade über die Alpen gesprochen und über Neuschwanstein. Und er liebt einfach die Landschaften, ist gern hier, und das gleiche gilt für Stephen. Sie sind wirklich sehr bemüht, dass sie hier spielen können, Aber wenn ihr zum Beispiel wisst, wenn jemand was veranstaltet und sucht noch, einfach bekannt geben, einfach Bescheid geben, dann klappt es vielleicht auch noch ein bisschen früher mit den Jungs hier in Deutschland. Alright, before our last question or your last words, I have to tell the people a bit about the plan we are hearing on this radio the next days. Am Mittwoch, hier ist der Sendeplan für euch. Morgen gibt's PT Terra mit der melodischen Wühlkiste schon ab 19 Uhr bis 21 Uhr. Ging gerade nicht anders, aber die melodische Wühlkiste ist für euch auf jeden Fall morgen da. Startet schon um 19 Uhr. Am Donnerstag gibt's mich wieder mit Blackbox. Da wird's ein bisschen heftiger. Am Freitag ist Time to Metal. Der Snooker macht dann gleich weiter und gibt ordentlich auf die Rübe. Am Samstag von über dem großen Teich aus den Low Risk Studios in Minnesota der Wishmaster mit der Midgard Music Mania. Der Show, bei der alles passieren kann, wie er selber sagt. Und am Sonntag gibt's den Snooker nochmal mit der Jukebox und euren Wünschen. Denn der Snooker ist natürlich nur glücklich, wenn der Monitor raucht, die Tastatur qualmt und die Maus im Glas winselt. Okay, so far for our schedule the next days. Thank you so much for your time, and the last words are yours before we say goodbye with your song of Pearls and Perils. The stage is yours.
I just want to say thank you so much to you, Max, and to you, Liz, and to everyone who's listening this evening. We really, really appreciate you taking the time to join us here. So thank you so much.
Yeah, same. Likewise, Max and Liz. We really appreciate this, and every single one who is listening and liking our stuff. And anyway, we appreciate you anyway if you don't like our stuff. So it's cool, but it has been so nice to spend these 2 hours with you, and we really appreciate it, and hope to see you in Germany one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we hope that too. Thank you for joining us. Really, it was a nice interview.
Try not to worry about it, son. You know what the captain said? He said, every single one of us is safe on this ship. For you, I'll lay these on your neck to steal a love that's true. They're hoisted from great depths below. With all my worth I've come to show. I'm born to turn the tides and tame the old earth mother